King Von was not just affiliated with the Black Disciples. He was built inside it. O Block at 64th and King Drive wasn't simply a neighborhood. It was a front line, one of the most violent blocks in Chicago, shaped by decades of territorial warfare and generational loyalty. It produced not only street soldiers, but cultural symbols. Vaughn didn't just rap about this world, he represented it. His name, his image, and his music became inseparable from the Black Disciples' identity. To many fans, he wasn't only an artist. He was a banner carried into an ongoing conflict. That is why any perceived contradiction tied to his legacy is treated not as gossip, but as heresy.
My brother got Dracula, Overlock, 3rd, 64, like, everybody would want to go over there with my brother, like, he the real GOAT.
However,
so when new footage surfaced of King Von's mother surrounded by people identified online as Gangster Disciples, the reaction was immediate and explosive. The video spread rapidly across TikTok and Instagram, not because of what she wore or how she danced, but because of who appeared near her. Commenters dissected tattoos, hand signs, and rumored affiliations. Posts from popular pages pulled millions of views. But the real fuel was in the comment sections. Rumors formed in late 2025 and early 2026 claiming she was socializing with or dating a GD member. Fans repeated the same accusation. How could she associate with rivals when her son died representing BD? This wasn't just judgment. It was symbolic outrage rooted in decades of gang mythology.
So with all of this going on at the time, it's safe to say that no one was really looking out for the best interests of the Black community in Chicago.
To understand why that question carried so much weight, you have to understand who King Von was. Born Davon Daquan Bennett on August 9th, 1994, he grew up in Parkway Gardens on Chicago's South Side, later renamed O Block after O.D. Perry, a slain Black Disciple member. His lyrics consistently reference street wars, fallen friends, and rival gangs, especially the Gangster Disciples. The BD-GD conflict is not a rap rivalry. It is a generational war that predates drill music by decades. Von's public identity was constructed inside that battlefield. When he was killed on November 6, 2020, during a shootout outside an Atlanta nightclub, he left behind 3 children, a rising musical empire, and a mother who would now be forced to carry his name in public. Von reportedly claimed lineage from David Barksdale, the founder of the Black Disciples known as King David, whether literal or symbolic. That claim tied his identity even deeper into mythology of the gang. Meanwhile, in 1964, Larry Hoover and a group of young men formed the Supreme Gangsters, staking territory on the edge of rival blocks. At first, there was no war between them and the Disciples. Both groups were products of collapsing industries, redlining, and abandoned communities. According to historical crime data and demographic trends, these organizations formed as protection networks inside neighborhoods economically strangled by policy and neglect. What began as survival evolved into power structures.
The story of the crew who would later go on to be the GDs or Gangster Disciples starts in 1964 when a group of young men all met in the home of a...
By the late 1960s, rivalry intensified. Ironically, in 1969, the Supreme Gangsters and the Disciples merged into Black Gangster Disciple Nation, with Hoover and Barksdale sharing control. That alliance lasted only 5 years. When Barksdale died in 1974 from kidney failure, linked to an old gunshot wound, loyalty fractured. His followers split away, reforming the Black Disciples as a separate entity. What followed was an internal civil war. Former brothers became permanent enemies. Through the crack epidemic of the 1980s, both factions expanded into massive drug enterprises. Entire housing projects became battlefields. Violence was no longer just criminal. It was ritualized, inherited, and cyclical.
They decided that they wanted to start their own crew and take over the block.
After Barksdale's death, the loyalty his followers felt toward King David proved stronger than Larry Hoover's control. Members broke away and re-established the Black Disciples as an independent force. What followed was an immediate and permanent civil war. The Be Decent GDs, once part of the same organization, became mortal enemies during the crack epidemic of the 1980s. This rivalry turned into an economic and territorial battle for control of Chicago's drug markets. The Gangster Disciples were rumored to be running a massive cocaine operation out of housing projects like Cabrini Green and the Robert Taylor homes, generating tens of millions annually. The Black Disciples operated for what they called the Castle, a headquarters said to bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars per day. Both sides recruited teenagers and even children. Each killing produced retaliation. Violence became generational, not episodic.
And after King David's death, it seemed like many members stopped respecting Larry Hoover's leadership, and ultimately leading members to disrespect the supreme gangster side.
By the 1990s, federal law enforcement began dismantling both organizations from the top down. Larry Hoover was charged again after authorities wiretapped communication networks that linked prison visits to street operations. He was transferred to a federal supermax prison in Colorado, effectively severing his ability to command the streets. On the BD side, high-ranking member Robert Allen flipped in 1998, admitting to selling over 220 pounds of crack cocaine. His cooperation triggered more than 20 indictments. At the same time, Chicago demolished major housing projects like the Robert Taylor homes. That displacement scattered gang members into new neighborhoods, dissolving centralized leadership and replacing it with smaller, more volatile street crews. Old hierarchies collapsed. Block-by-block warfare replaced organized control.
Housing Authority is $30 million in debt. The building codes are not being enforced, and the elevators, when they work, are called the most dangerous form of public transportation in Chicago.
This is the environment that created modern drill culture. After O.D. Perry was killed, Parkway Gardens became known as O-Block. It rose to fame through artists like Chief Keef and Lil Durk, and later King Von. Across the street, Gangster Disciple, a line set such as STL, later Tuckerville, and EBT formed their own identities. Rappers like FBG Duck became their voices. What had once been territorial conflict now became music-driven warfare. YouTube channels, documentaries, and social media accounts turned these feuds into serialized content. Audiences followed deaths and diss tracks like episodes of the show. But unlike fiction, these were real neighborhoods and real funerals.
The only structure is provided by the gangs, who marked their turf with spray paint and set up sniper posts in high-rise buildings.
King Von was not a spectator in this war. He was raised inside it. Parkway Gardens recorded 19 shootings between 2011 and 2014 alone, earning its reputation as one of the most dangerous blocks in Chicago. Across 63rd Street, GD sets like STL and EBT were O-Block's primary rivals. Von's alleged involvement in street violence began in 2014, when he was identified as a person of interest in the killing of 17-year-old Gakira K.I. Barnes, a prominent gangster disciple figure. Charges were never filed due to inconsistent witness statements. However, in 2021, unsealed police documents named him as a suspected shooter. His sister, Kayla B., later acknowledged awareness of the reports while refusing to confirm any claims about her brother's actions.
Y'all got a video or something? Like, how y'all know my brother did that? If it ain't no video, he ain't that shit.
As drill music grew, so did the feud. Vaughn and GD-affiliated rapper FBG Duck traded public insults and lyrical provocations. Duck's 2020 song mocked deceased O-Block members by name. According to federal court filings, Vaughn allegedly placed a bounty on Duck, first for $50,000, later raised to $100,000. On August 4th, 2020, Duck was ambushed and killed in Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood. In January 2024, 6 O-Block members were convicted on federal racketeering charges connected to that murder. 3 months later, King Von himself was dead.
Y'all ain't gonna put that on my brother. He ain't that shit. Let him rest.
On November 6, 2020, outside an Atlanta nightclub, an altercation erupted between Vaughn's group and rapper Quando Rondo's crew. Timothy Lil Tim Leaks fired the shots that killed Vaughn. In later interviews, he claimed his gun malfunctioned after the third shot. Police responding to the scene shot him twice. He survived. In August 2023, all charges against Leaks were dropped under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law after prosecutors ruled he acted in self-defense. Vaughn's sister Kayla B. was present in the parking lot that night. She did not see the shooting itself, but she heard it. Chaos broke out. Her driver froze. People scattered. She began making calls, first to her brother, who did not answer, then to a cousin, who told her Vaughn had been shot, but said it was only once, and that he was okay. Kayla tried to calm herself. She stayed awake until morning believing he would survive. Then the second call came, and everything changed.
Well, you pull out and you shoot 4 times.
Yeah, the gun jammed.
Oh, the gun jammed.
Yeah. Lil Tim said his weapon malfunctioned after the third shot.
After the 4th shot?
Probably like third shot.
Okay.
He was then shot twice by police who responded to the scene.
What parts of the body?
I get shot in my right hip bone, and I get shot on my ass. It go in and out, though.
That moment is the emotional core behind every debate about King Vaughn's legacy. Fans process the BDGD war through music and internet culture. His family processes it through phone calls that arrive at dawn. Taisha Bennett, his mother, lived inside that reality. She watched her son grow up in violence, go to jail, come home, become famous, and then die. Every viral clip is filtered through that loss. Taisha Bennett did not choose public life. Her son's success and death forced it upon her. She raised Vaughn largely without his father, Walter Bennett, who spent much of Vaughn's childhood in and out of prison, and was killed when Vaughn was 11. In interviews, she described the emotional weight of that loss and how it affected her eldest son. The absence of a father figure became part of the path that led Vaughn deeper into street life.
I'm in the car with my friends and my brothers and them, like, we just talking. And we hit gunshots. What the?
When Vaughn's music career took off, Taisha was supportive but reportedly conflicted about his continued gang involvement. In one viral clip, she is seen confronting him about his affiliations, trying to steer him away from the life that would ultimately kill him. After his death, she became a public guardian of his legacy, posting tributes, responding to rumors, and marking anniversaries. On one anniversary, she wrote that while they missed him deeply, they were grateful for the memories and music he left behind.
So my driver, he pull out, and then he like stopped and he up. So now we see like what's going on, like the shooting.
When asked what she missed most about her son, her answer was not about fame or success. It was intimate and human. She said she missed his smile, the way he tilted his head and how he kissed her and said, "I love you, Ma." But Taisha refused to exist only as a grieving mother. She continued posting photos of herself, traveling, dressing boldly, and living visibly.
For real, I'm like, what the fuck, I still go crazy and shit. So that's when everybody calling me and shit. They were saying he was good and shit.
Her appearance became its own controversy. Supporters praised her confidence. Critics said she should act her age. When she wore revealing outfits, she was attacked. She responded bluntly that it was just clothing on her body. When an AI-generated image falsely showing her at Vaughn's gravesite circulated online, she shut it down, calling it fake and disrespectful.
Hey,
So I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna stress it. It's like, I stayed up to like 7 in the morning. I ain't getting no sleep.
Then came the footage with alleged Gangster Disciples. Rumors spread in late 2025 and early 2026 that she was dating or socializing with a GD member. Photos and videos place her near people identified by online users as GD affiliated. The internet collapsed her entire identity into a single accusation. She was framed either as a traitor to her son's memory or as a woman refusing to be controlled. There was no middle ground.
His cousin called me. Like, he gone. I said, on the internet, I went crazy.
Taisha denied any romantic involvement with GD members and said her personal life had nothing to do with gang politics. But by then, the narrative had already formed. The outrage was not about what she did. It was about what people needed the footage to mean.
She kind of stuck in her ways. A lot of people say we act alike. So maybe that's the reason, like, she still want to be young and stuff.
The irony is stark. King Vaughn himself was known for generosity, warmth, and protectiveness. Caleb B. and others who knew him spoke of a side rarely captured in music videos or social media posts. A man who provided for his crew, his family, and those he loved. Once Vaughn began earning money, he ensured that his mother, his siblings, and even his baby mamas and children were taken care of. His crew called him Pops, a term of endearment that reflected his fatherly influence despite being barely in his mid-20s.
It's like she's stubborn too. Like, she be stuck in her ways. She's stubborn. Like, I feel like as a mother, you shouldn't be like that with your kids.
Vaughn made sure Kayla had everything she needed. He photographed her in candid moments and later promised she would never want for anything. He looked after his mother. He provided for his children. That is the life Tisha Bennett raised, and that is the life she lost. Now, the same internet that celebrated Vaughn's street credibility and streamed his music daily was policing his mother's personal choices, deciding how she should grieve, where she could go, and whom she could stand near.
There's a lot of situations that we don't even know about that he helped me.
Yeah, his guys, that nigga, he loved them little boys.
The footage went viral not because of what it objectively showed, but because of what people projected onto it. It sat at the intersection of gang loyalty, generational grief, gender expectations, and the peculiar ways hip-hop culture transforms real-life pain into consumable content. Fans measured Tisha's actions against a history they often only understand superficially, a history written in caskets, courtroom filings, and social media outrage.
Like, those people like, so they happened for Vaughn, like, they was excited, they was happy as hell, because they know Vaughn gonna make sure everybody's straight.
First, the lens of gang loyalty. In Chicago's drill ecosystem, affiliation is treated as permanent, inherited, and symbolic. Vaughn's entire public persona was built around his BD identity. His beefs with FBG Duck and other GD-aligned rappers were extensions of that identity. For many, seeing his mother near alleged GDs felt like a posthumous betrayal. But this reaction also exposes something uncomfortable. Fans often consume these wars as entertainment, while simultaneously demanding the people actually living within them obey all unwritten rules at all times.
I told you, he had to the picture, I wasn't even looking. And he was like, sure they gonna have everything she ever wanted.
Second, gender and age scrutiny. Taisha's viral moments have always been filtered through commentary on her appearance and behavior. When she posted photos in form-fitting outfits or danced at clubs, critics questioned her priorities, telling her to act her age. The GED footage amplified the scrutiny. She was visible, unapologetic, alive, and refusing to disappear into grief, defying expectations of how a mother in her 50s should behave.
I was calm. So it's like this time, I knew, like, do the same thing, like stay calm and just make sure I get to the hospital.
Third, the ongoing chain reaction of consequences following Vaughn's death. Federal prosecutors allege that Lil Durk, Vaughn's mentor and label head, placed a bounty on Quando Rondo, orchestrating a murder-for-hire plot in Los Angeles near the Beverly Center Mall on August 19, 2022. Rondo survived, but his cousin, Savia P.A.B. Robinson, was killed. Prosecutors claimed Durk promised hitmen money and music industry opportunities as payment, covering travel and logistics. He was arrested in October 2024 while allegedly attempting to flee the country and charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire. 5 associates were indicted as well, including murder for hire resulting in death.
I didn't know neither one, if he was gone or still alive. I just, like I say, I didn't even know it was him.
Meanwhile, FBG Duck's mother filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Lil Durk, Vaughn's estate, and Sony Music, alleging that record labels operated as a criminal enterprise, profiting from orchestrated violence in Chicago's drill scene. Lulam, the man who pulled the trigger that killed Vaughn, is free, openly building a music career and recounting the incident in interviews. He has said he didn't even realize he had shot Vaughn amid the chaos, reacting instinctively to what he perceived as an attack on Rondo. Ultimately, the viral footage did not expose betrayal by Tisha Bennett. It revealed the impossible expectations imposed on families of people lost to gang violence. She is expected to adhere to codes she never wrote, for a war she did not start, in a city that abandoned the communities where both BDs and GDs were born. 50 years of conflict, from displaced youth forming protection crews in Chicago's South Side to drug empires, federal indictments, demolished projects, drill music, court trials, and viral clips, have produced an environment where even grief is weaponized. King Vaughn's family statement captured this tension perfectly. Thank you to everyone who has showed their outpouring of love for King Vaughn. By continuing to play his music and sharing your stories, you're keeping his legacy alive. They ask for respect, not policing. They ask for remembrance, not judgment. The footage went viral because people wanted it to mean something. For some, it proved loyalty dies with the person who earned it. For others, it proved the living deserve to keep living, even when the dead cannot. Tisha Bennett did not owe the internet an explanation, but she gave one anyway, and predictably, the conversation continued. The uncomfortable question remains. In a world that has turned conflict into entertainment, do the living get to simply live, or must they remain trapped in the story of the dead?